1 year ago in July, a train derailment involving hazardous materials in a Quebec town killed dozens and burned down several buildings. 5 months later, a train wreck in North Dakota spilled 400,000 gallons of crude oil, and several thousand more gallons were spilled after a derailment in Pennsylvania this year.
All those wrecks involved hazardous materials, and with 170 miles of railroad in Tippecanoe County, News 18's Kelly Roberts takes a look at what's traveling on our railroads.
Hundreds of rail cars come through Tippecanoe County every day, and 1 year about 53,000 of those cars contain hazardous materials. Although we have seen few derailments in Tippecanoe County, the threat still remains.
When a train comes through Tippecanoe County, we don't specifically know exactly what's on that rail car.
Every now and then we'll hear maybe there's going to be some high-level radiologicals or something. Typically it goes through, nobody even knows.
On a typical day, hundreds of rail cars come through Tippecanoe County without incident.
As I quickly think back through the years, I've been to several derailments, and I cannot recall any that had any hazardous materials that were leaking.
Tippecanoe County Emergency Management Director Smokey Anderson says most of the materials that move on the county's railroads are agriculture materials like grain. But a 2012 report by CSX and Norfolk Southern Railroad said about 53,000 rail cars that came through Tippecanoe County in 2011 carried a hazardous material.
The majority of the hazardous materials that travel on the rail, almost 75%, are flammable liquids. That would include your gasoline, diesel fuel, alcohols.
The ethanol plants, there's a lot of ethanol, denatured alcohol that goes through here, fuels. A lot of combustibles.
The answer to what may be on the rail cars can be right in front of you.
If you stop at a rail crossing and watch for the diamond-shaped placards, you have to know a little bit to know what it is.
Every rail car carrying a hazardous material must be marked with the placard Anderson referred to. First, it will have a single-digit number. That will indicate the class of that hazardous material. Then a 4-digit number will indicate exactly what that material is. Flammable liquids will be marked with a number 3.
Pretty soon you'll see that there's a lot of that goes through Tippecanoe County.
In the event a derailment causes a chemical spill, the county has 3 hazmat teams. Michael Bland is Assistant Chief of Special Operations for the Lafayette Fire Department.
Yeah, and that's kind of rare for a department or a city of our size to have 3 teams, 3 well-organized teams.
It's likely if we ever did get a train derailment, we're going to need help from a lot of different sources.
Purdue Fire also has a team, and every other month the local emergency planning committee made up of county and emergency officials meets to discuss emergency preparedness. TEMA hazmat technician Tyler Hirschman says he has never responded to a derailment in his 2 years on the team. But whether it's a chemical spill involving a train or a hazmat situation involving a semi-truck, many of the same protocols are taken.
We always go through very similar motions. We always want to establish a decontamination team, and then we want to establish an entry team to go in and actually fix the problem.
Even though emergency officials do not know what travels on every single rail car, each train carries shipping papers, which has a list of all the materials inside the cars. In a case of a derailment, those papers are crucial. If you would like to get familiar with the different placards displayed on the side of rail cars, visit WLFI.com. Kelly Roberts, News 18.